Hi, this is Rashmi Agarwal.
This is Shivi Krishna.
We are both from Grateful Strokes and we founded this just the last year. We're both from Bangalore, India, and certified Zentangle teachers authorized by the Zentangle headquarters to conduct Zentangle inspired art classes. Along with Zentangle, both of us have been exploring other art forms, one of them being Mithila or the popularly known Madhubani art form from India. Our attempt this month is to bring you a flavor of both of these art forms at the same time. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to create something very unique.
Awesome. So, Zentangle is an easy to learn, relaxing, and a fun way to create beautiful images by drawing structured patterns. These structured patterns are called tangles. This style of drawing is mainly abstract, uses repetitive patterns, and represents an artistic method of relaxation, calmness, focus, and helps us to develop the creativity.
Mithila art, on the other hand, is a very, very old Indian folk art, which is from the northeastern state of Bihar and the country Nepal. This is way, way, way back. It used to be originally drawn on walls and floors by the women of the house for decoration and religious purposes. Now it is being drawn on paper and canvas using paints like acrylic paints and inks and has reached international fame as an intricate art form. So, what are we doing today? We are going to bring both of these art forms together using a same motif or a string as we call in Zentangle. Do you recognize this leaf? Most of us have seen it in India. It is called the beetle leaf, and in Mithila art, it is called Panama. It is considered very auspicious for any beginning. Its vibrant green colors stand for prosperity, purity, and rejuvenation of life. In Hinduism, it represents the holy trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
That's really interesting, Rashmi. And here I am with a playing card, and we will be drawing and taking up this spade shape as a string for today. So
So,
let's,
shall we go through the supplies then?
yes, please.
For today's session, you will need a rough paper, and I have an A5 size printer paper. You will need two tiles, and by paper tiles, I mean these paper cutouts. I have both white and brown, and they are both 4 inches by 4 inches. You can use a tan tile or a white tile. If you're new to Zentangle, these are just paper cutouts which are square in shape. I am also, for my shape, I will be using a rough paper which is slightly smaller than my tile.
Okay.
For pens, our regular supplies, Sakura Micron pens, 01, or a thicker pen, PN, a regular pencil, which can be Zentangle pencil or any other pencil that you might have, and a pair of scissors. I'm also going to be using a red pen because in Mithila art, we use a lot of combination of just black and red, and that makes it very, very unique. I won't be using any shading or tortillon because Madhubani art is 2D. We don't make it three-dimensional at all.
Okay. And I would be using a Gentangle apprentice style, which is a 4.5-inch square, a usual pen, black fine liner, an HB pencil, you can take any, a tortillon, and just in case if we think of using a gray pen, a gray fine liner, we can. If you do not have this gray shade, do not worry. You can replace it with any of your gray pencil. That's it. That's the supply from my side.
Awesome. So,
Before we begin, can we start with a little? gratitude exercise.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you.
So let's hold the surface on which we are going to draw today. Have it in your hands. Breathe in, breathe out. You can gently close your eyes or keep them open. Let's be in gratitude for everything that is allowing us to make this possible. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Shivi.
You're welcome.
So we're trying to use this motif, which is Panama, on our tile. I will be using a tan tile because a lot of Madhubani work is done on a very light brown handmade paper because they reflect what they used to draw on, which is the walls. To make the motif, I'm using a rough paper folded into half. So just take your rough paper, which is slightly smaller than your tile, and fold it into half. This will give us some symmetry. And as you can see, I've just drawn half of a beetle shape with a little triangular shape right here. So go ahead and draw yours, and then we'll just cut it out.
And
What
the
are you doing, Shivi, for your outline or string?
Yeah, I was thinking that we could either draw it freehand. Absolutely. I will show one pattern. Or if anybody has any kind of a stencil or maybe a heart shape thing, maybe a cardboard or something, anything lying around, you can use that. I also wanted to add that um, these are YouTube videos which you can pause at any point and complete. Sorry.
So let's get our string ready and placing it both in Zentangle and Mithila art. The common point is that it's always drawn freehand and there are no mistakes. I have done this for ease, but you can always draw it freehand. So I'm tracing my handmade stencil with pencil first.
Okay. Once you complete, then I shall show a rough handout. Okay, it looks brilliant. So, in case anybody wants to try out a freehand one, what they can do is draw a cross, draw 2 points, make a little curve, take it up, and from here onwards, just make a C curve. Okay, and at the bottom, you can add like how we have in a spade. It looks somewhat similar. So this is like a freehand drawing with the help of a cross, or otherwise, if you find something convenient around you, you can just simply place it on your tile wherever you would like to, and just go around.
You're drawing this at an angle. Interesting. So before we dive into our projects, what we're going to do is take turns and show you some of the patterns that we will be using in each of our projects. And you can choose which one you're drawing along with us and which you want to follow with the recording. Some of the common features of Mithila art, one is to always have a border. And this is usually drawn freehand. And we draw with double lines. If it is a very big piece, this is a very small card, so we'll be making a simple border. But if you have a big piece, then you can actually have a border with some patterns in it. Mithila art always has geometric patterns in whatever shape or motif that they use. The second concept is that of Kachini, which is if you have two lines going parallel to each other, you can fill it in with either straight lines close to each other or diagonal lines in either direction. But just like Zentangle, these are deliberate strokes. You will draw them carefully and make them as evenly spaced out as possible. The third concept is called Kuchni. If you have a shape, whatever shape you might have, you're going to fill it, just like Kachni, you're going to fill it with diagonal lines in one direction, as even as possible, as straight as possible, without using any tools, without using any ruler. And I'm going to turn my rough paper because that makes it easier for my hand. And then do it again in the opposite direction. So you get these crisscross line that makes your work extremely intricate and beautiful. The fourth is just a row of circles or orbs, as we say in Zentangle world. And then if you want, you can fill in these background spaces. Again, evenly spaced out. The next and the last one for today, we might do a couple more as we go along. If you have a border, okay, you can on the outside, whatever your pattern might be, on the outside, you can draw these scallops or these semicircular shapes. They enhance any motif and adds more body and definition to it. And you ink these in. For those who are from Zentangle world, yes, this reminds of crescent moon, but these are all connected. And you give it an aura or just a double line, as we say in Madhubani. This is called chitki. That's all I have for now before I start with the project. What are you using, Shivi?
I would be showing how to draw the tangles, which we are going to use in our string today, the spade string today. Okay, so the first tangle for today is called Ecoism, and it is by Zentangle headquarters. So basically, it is a pattern that goes like this. You can increase the size, you can go as you wish. Let's say you are drawing it in a border. So this is how you take it. So it's like a simple S, how we keep drawing randomly. The second angle that we are going to explore for today is Duda. This is also by the Zentangle headquarters. Okay, how do we draw Duda? Duda is basically a bordered angle, which means you can, this is like broad U's. So you can make them squarish, and the other line you will try to place between the other two, like this. Okay, this is more on the squarish side. Let's say you want to explore a little rounded part, you can do that. Just like a proper U. Remember to draw the other side, which goes in between the above line, something like this. Okay, this is the second angle, and the third one would be bales, which is also by Zentangle headquarters. This is a grid tangle, which means we would be needing a base structure for it. So let's say we have a grid like this. Okay, let's go step ahead. Okay, once you complete this side, this side. Okay, then something like this. So we can keep on expanding. If you feel like drawing in between, you can keep drawing in between as well. Okay, you can vary the pattern. This is how it will look. So Rashmi, these are the three tangles that I'll be using with my string today.
Excellent. So shall we get started?
Yes, please.
Bring in your tile, bring in your supplies. In both Mithila and Madhubani arts, we don't use eraser and pencil much. We directly draw with pen.
We'll start with inking the string.
Right. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that.
So how many of you have already tried Zentangle or Mithila art or have had a flavor of these two art forms? Do let us know in the comments. How do you feel on our first YouTube live session, Rashmi?
This is exciting. Been wanting to go on YouTube for the longest time. And it's a great day to start. Today's Sankranti. We're celebrating the first harvest of the year
Yeah,
across the entire country. So it's an amazing feeling. How about you?
I am also very thrilled, very happy that we could do it on a very auspicious day. And yes, a start to all that we have been looking forward to for since a long time. I'm just drawing an aura just to place in my tangles. Freehand draw and then you can ink it.
Drawing a simple border with three lines. The borders are usually very straight lines without the use of ruler.
In Zentangle, we do not use ruler or eraser. We believe in the philosophy of no mistakes. That's how it is.
Metal art, since it started with drawing on the wall, there were no rulers. It was just drawn freehand. But with practice, Your lines tend to get a little more straightish. And then, just like Zentangle, it's all about deliberate strokes. You breathe in and you watch each line as it is laid on the paper with your pen or brush, whatever you might use. Just pick up this pencil line because it's bothering me.
So even if you guys are not ready with the supplies, first of all, you can use anything that you have easily available at your disposal, or you can watch the video and draw at your pace whenever it's possible. Sometimes watching is also very therapeutic, right, Rashmi?
Absolutely. It's magical. You can just calm down without the pressure. So one of the things that we always do with most of the patterns in Mithila art is doing double lines or a very close aura. One, it adds beauty to the pattern, and second, it breaks down the continuity from one pattern to the other so that each of them stand out on its own. What I'm doing here is I've done a thin aura, a very close parallel line, and then I'm leaving a gap and doing my second aura, which will also get its own double line.
I think until now we are on very similar steps, right?
Right.
I think art is a language of the heart.
And this is a heart shape.
Yeah, that's,
Well connected.
yeah. And I'm sure for a lot of you, art would be a therapeutic or, something that gives calmness, relaxation, just as it does for us.
So I'm making these sets of lines first before I start filling them with patterns. So I've got two sets ready. Go with one more. We did say Panama stands or represents the Holy Trinity. So 3 sounds like a good number.
Yeah. And like I mentioned that, um, you know, the first shape that we are actually drawing is a heart. So it's
Mhm.
so connected, so well connected. I would now start placing my tangles. I'll start with my first tangle, which I just showed you, egoism, on the outermost rim. You can start anywhere.
Okay. The first one that I'll start off is with the orbs. And the orbs with a difference. So I'm going to put an orb right here and give it an inner aura. Leave some gap and continue to do so. What we'll do in between is think of these as flower pods and connect them with a stem with an S shape. And then just add tiny leaves on either side. So most of the Mithila art represents the flora and fauna, the regular life around them, as long as some religious stories. I'm not filling in any of these shapes yet. I'm just drawing these circles and connecting them. And they may not be exact in size, and it doesn't matter. This is hand-drawn art and doesn't need to be perfect. But at the same time, we are very, very conscious of each stroke.
I'm almost done with the first angle, and while drawing I was conscious about turning my dial. Keep turning your dial as you draw. And here one of my pattern is complete.
Awesome.
So I now move on to the second pattern for myself, which is Duda. Take your time, relax yourself, and keep going.
We are not using any measuring tools whatsoever to space out our tangles.
I would suggest using a little thicker pen for drawing this tangle. So I'm using a 05 basically. Give a very good um, look. Or maybe for today, if you guys may not have a 05, you can continue with the O1 also. But Duda with a thicker pen is always the best. So as usual, start anywhere.
If you want to make this extremely intricate, you can do kuchni inside these little circles, which is like cross hatching.
It's very interesting, Rashmi. So many things are similar between the two arts, just the
Mm-hmm.
terminology is a little different, right?
Yes. I've always wanted to pursue Mithila art, but I thought it was very, very difficult. But after doing Zentangle for many years, gave me the confidence to try out this art form. And as long as you focus on your basic strokes, the elemental strokes that we talk about in Zentangle,
Hmm.
Really, anything is possible, one stroke at a time.
So true.
Okay. For the second row, going to make it, just break the monotony from the circular shapes and maybe do some triangular ones. This is a half diamond or triangular shapes, also called as Barfi design. So all I'm doing is going around my second border here and going making zigzag lines. Once you have that, remember we spoke about kachni, which is nothing but parallel straight lines, filling the top portion of all these triangles with kachni. Just nothing but very close auras, but straight lines. You can draw this whole thing just with black ink and it looks as beautiful. I personally like the touch of red, especially on a tan tile or a slightly brown surface. If you don't have a tan tile, you can take a white paper and give it a coffee wash or a well saturated tea wash or just brown paint. That makes it a little more authentic for Mithila art. And even in Zentangle, tan tile are absolute favorite for most of us, isn't it, Shivi? So are you using only black pen as of now?
Yes, Rashmi. Maximum work would be done with the black pen, and if need be, then only we will be switching on to the gray pen. So far, it feels good doing it with this.
Going back to the red pen and in the lower half, I'll make an aura and then fill in this little triangle with red. So when we fill a space with color in Mithila art, it is called bharni. Bharna means to fill in Hindi. So bharni is where a section is filled with colors instead of lines.
And here I am adding a little ink to the base of my pattern Duda, and this adding ink to any pattern or any line towards the end or spaces is called line weight or sometimes inking. Inking would mean completely filling the space, and adding line weight means adding a little bit of ink on one angle or one side.
It's a beautiful artistic touch to any tangle. You may find both of us becoming really quiet, not interacting, and that's because both of these art forms are so therapeutic, so meditative. They just take you into that state of calmness immediately. I hope you are drawing with us, tangling with us, and enjoying it as well. So I have my second border done. For my third border, again, I'm going to break the monotony and continuing with my red pen, I'm just going to make a series of orbs or circles. Making sure you start from top and join the previous circle and complete it. This reminds me of the Zentangle tangle onomato.
Correct. Guys, please excuse us if you hear sounds in the background in case we have tried to be careful around that, but maybe you may hear few things here and there. Okay, my duda is complete and I've added the language so you can see that there is a huge difference in its look. And now in the center, I'm going to add the third pattern, tangle, which I had shown, which is bales. Okay, and for this I will add a grid with my pencil first and then go ahead with the pen.
Filling in all the background space with ink so that these circles really stand out.
The combination of black and red is looking so pretty, Rashmi.
Thank you. Just, I don't know, eye-catching, but at the same time, it's soothing. It's not too loud or
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is also common. I'm not going to do that today for the sake of time, but it is also common to fill alternate circles with kachni. So it's up to you how intricate you want to make your piece.
This is my grid. You can make it in any size. I have some pigeons on my windowsill doing some talking.
They're encouraging us.
Yeah. So it is like a midday here in India. We would be really excited to hear from you what you like the most, and if there is anything that you would like to see or make, that we can draw for you, which you would really enjoy. We would love to hear that.
This is actually not the first time that we've thought of bringing these two art forms together. We launched our set of videos called Rejuvenation back in December, and people can still register and get access to these recorded lessons, where again it was inspired both by Zentangle and Mithila art. There are a couple projects that are on the same line, and then there are some that are craft based. There are some which are at a beginner's level. So 8 videos priced extremely reasonable. The link will be there in the comments of this video. If you're enjoying our session today and would like to learn more, do consider registering for those classes. The link is in comments and on our bios on the Grateful Strokes Instagram profile as well. So for both the centerpiece here and here, I'm going to do the cross hatching, which is called kuchini. So very, very carefully, very mindfully, I'm just going to draw these slanting lines. And you can be as intricate as you want. Shivi, did you know that we have a pattern in Mithila as well, which is very similar to Bale's?
Mm-hmm.
It is also there in sacred geometry as flower of life. Obviously, in sacred geometry, you would use all your tools, but it is drawn freehand in Mithila art as well. And you can draw it at the center of Panama as well.
Oh, that's amazing. So, guys, the ink wash is complete, and I would now take my HB pencil or any pencil that you may want to use. Today, I'm using my Faber Castell pencil. I'll just add graphite on the inner edges, trying to do a classic Zentangle tile, which is a black white version. You can add colors if you would like to. Adding colors to this will really add to the beauty of the spade. Just placing the graphite on the edges. Then I will be spreading or maybe smoothing it with my tortillon. So this part is not there in the Mithila art, right, Rashmi?
Right. Because these were drawn on wall with natural pigments, it's
Mhm.
always a 2D. So most of the folk art that you see around the world, the traditional art form, whether it is from India, the ones that I've seen even in Egypt, they're all 2D. Um, there is no shading. They're just using their pigments
Yeah.
to do the work. And I wanted to retain that as much as we are bringing these two art forms together, we want to retain the authenticity of the original art form as well.
Okay. Yeah.
The only other thing left for me is to add some more ornate features to this Panama, and I'm going to add chitki on the outside of the entire motif. So just going to leaving some space here, just going to add these semicircular shapes or scallops. Draw it first and then come back and ink it with a thicker pen. shading in Zentangle is such an icing on the cake. It just immediately transforms. Beautiful.
The one thing I really love about the folk arts, I mean, be it Indian or any any civilization for that matter, is that they try to use natural things that are easily available to them around them, from their food, from their, from nature, from mother nature. And secondly, they try to mostly represent their own life, maybe draw stories or depict some tales, that may have a moral message. Or maybe many a times these drawings have been a great help to historians, because they have gotten more information about that particular civilization through their artwork. Right, Rashmi?
Absolutely. And one of the striking differences that I can immediately think of, say, comparing Egyptian art to Indian folk art, especially from Mithila region, there was a lot of poverty and in that region for the longest time. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look at their authentic art, there is no use of metallic colors ever because they just couldn't afford it. All their colors were plant based, as you said.
Yeah.
They were from flowers and leaves and things around them and charcoal. They did not use any fancy colors. So even in modern India, even when we are doing on paper and canvas, if you see Mithila art or Madhubani art, they do not use any metallic colors. Whereas Egyptian art is incomplete without the gold and the copper, right? I mean, and that is such an integral part of their art form, but
So
we don't use it.
yeah, that is such an important point that you have mentioned here in terms of the colors. Yeah, amazing. So as you can see, just blending it gives it a little 3D, as if it is popping out, ready to pop out.
Wow, it's
And
coming together so beautifully.
I will gently add some graphite on the inner edges so that the bales pop out.
And you are using a graphite pencil, but people can use any colors if they want, if they have color pencils.
Yes,
Those who are
yes, yes.
artists, veterans, Zentangle tanglers, they can use their prismas and other fancy tools. Sky's the limit there.
Of course, stationery has no barrier. But I think the one thing that both of us, me and Rashmi, always advise to anybody and everybody, um, is that, use what you have. You know, you can bring in the same kind of effects, and that's amazing.
Especially the classic Zentangle, which is done not to impress, it is just done to
Yeah,
help yourself get calm, just for meditative purposes. The true reasons why Zentangle method even came about. You don't need anything but a black pen, a paper, a little pencil, and a blending tool.
yeah.
You can do it anywhere.
So, um, you can take any chalk pencil, any white chalk pencil, or if you have a white color pencil also, that'll also do. At this point, I'll just be adding a little bit of this line here. If you can see, it'll add a little shine and the 3D effect as well. So you may feel where is it showing, but when you see it in your pictures and everything, the 3D effect shows out really well. As you can see, I'm adding it to my Duda layer as well. And you can see the layer starts to pop out. It is good to add colors. Okay, so this one. Rashmi, are you done?
I think so. I mean, you can continue doing more. Usually in Mithila art, we don't leave blank spaces at all if you're making a painting. But since this is just a sample motif and we've decorated the motif, the focus is on Panama and not as a painting as such. This should be fine. But if you are a Mithila artist and you want to take it to the next level, you may add a lot of stems and have leaves covering the entire background space as well. For today, I'm going to call this done.
Okay, just adding a little red at the junction points with
Mhm.
any red color pen that you may have, just for that extra touch of love. And it'll also give a little spice to your drawing. Is that visible? Okay. And to add in the last bit of touch, what we can do is we'll be taking a red pencil, could be any, just add it to the border. It's like to match with the center, and also probably with Rashmi's style, the red that she has done.
I
Okay.
said I'm going to stop, but I am inking in these leaves
Yeah.
just to make it a little more prominent. So I'm doing bharni with
Okay.
black these leaves.
It is a big festival day today, and I'm not sure if you are hearing some sounds of people around where I stay. So, today in India, we fly kites in the air, and we are having a contest for flying the kite.
Good food
Yeah,
and prayer services. And it's the only festival. Usually, our festivals are very regional. This is the only festival that is celebrated across all communities throughout India with different names.
yeah, that's so true.
Glad I colored those leaves. They do stand out a bit more.
I think I'll just add a little bit here to this and the last few bits.
It's looking gorgeous.
Oh, yours is looking so pretty. So I think I mean there is no end to drawing as Rashmi like said, but let's sign the tile and write on the back of the tile as we do, Rashmi.
Yes. We don't have the concept of a chop in Mithila art. So usually we write the entire name. I can do so here.
I've written it here. And I would like to mark today as a very, very special day for both of us. It is our first YouTube. Uh, is that
People
what?
around you are cheering for us, aren't they?
It's people are really having fun. So these are the three patterns, three tangles I use, and all of them are by Tangle Headwaters. And I'm so grateful to my friend Rashmi.
So our fusion project called Panama.
That's I reversed
You
it.
can do record keeping as you wish,
Yes. And
right? Thank you so much for joining us.
this is one colored version. I just wanted to show our viewers, Rashmi.
Oh, wow.
This is one
I
of.
love the colors. But the
Thank you.
black and white has its own charm too.
Absolutely. Yes.
I did another one which was quite similar
Wow. Very pretty.
on a slightly smaller tile.
Very pretty. Guys,
So
thank you so much for joining us for our first live. And a big thank you to all of those who would be watching this later. Heartfelt gratitude from our side. Rashmi, please add some last few words for our viewers.
thank you so much. This is very, very encouraging. And the only thing I would say is this is just the beginning. This is our first project. You will see a lot more projects every month. This month, we are focusing on the fusion part. Next month, we'll have another topic. So do remember to subscribe, turn on the notifications. And if you enjoyed the video today, do hit the like button. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.